magistrate is. I don't know what prostitution is. I don't really know what an unsafe person to this point looks like, even though I've been hanging out with them every single day.
That's how insidious human traffickers can operate, according to the executive director of SAVAS, the Sexual Assault and Violence Intervention Service of Halton. They'll initiate what appears to be a friendship until it's not.
First, they're your best friends, and they're taking you to Starbucks. They're saying, do you want a new phone? So it's gradual, and then it's all of a sudden like, well, you got to pay me back for that. But it's done. She made such a good point of talking about the fact that it took months for her, then basically to groom her, for her to start that first sort of foray into being trafficked.
In Michelle's case and many others, it all began on social media.
And from there, phone numbers were exchanged, and my traffickers actually picked us up at our local mall on a Friday night at around 8 p.m. So this first started as an innocent social media type relationship and meeting within the community that I lived in.
I cannot stress enough that the majority of our traffickers really truly are using social media in order to access children and to engage them through social media, learn lots about them beforehand so that they know all of the right things to say and the right things to do.
The Halton District School Board, Catholic School Board, and several organizations worked together to bring this information session to parents, while Fowler indicated that from the public board's perspective, high school students are a target audience. What they're seeing more and more frequently is that the younger population are being lured, noting that many students engage in social media platforms well before the age of 13.
Whether it's children that are perhaps more isolated, struggling socially, maybe they're a little bit on their own and they don't have that connectivity with maybe a family or a friend group or maybe at school. So we really do notice that those students are more susceptible to the trafficking.
Those are some of the risk factors that may lead to someone being trafficked. The Halton Collaborative Against Human Trafficking presented some figures that show 1/5 of cases of Canadian human trafficking occur in the GTA. 95% of trafficked people are local girls and young women. 51% of trafficked women are Indigenous. Stats that back up the size of the ever-growing problem in Halton.
A lot of the trafficking is done on the 401 corridor, hotels, and the QEW corridors, and so it is a huge issue. And there was just a report that came out today that a lot of young boys are being trafficked. So we might think it's just a situation where only young women are being trafficked, but we also have to pay a lot of attention to the fact that young boys are being trafficked.
While many mention that this problem is not as well known as it needs to be, they also note that education and awareness are keys in working towards a solution. With a combined enrollment of more than 100,000 students in both Halton school boards, there's a large student and parental audience to offer those resources.
It's so important that our young people understand how this works, how traffickers operate, and the dangers and pitfalls so that they can recognize the signs and that they can reach out and talk to a trusted adult or their parents well before anything significant happens.
Ultimately, if I had have had someone come in when I was in high school and told their story and I had a name to put to what was happening to me, I truly believe that I would have sought out help sooner. So if I can share my story and it helps one person go get the help that they need, then I think what I went through was for a purpose. So that's why I continue to share my story.
Resources are available on the anti-sex trafficking page of the HDSB website and through SAVAS of Halton's website. Jason Trout for Halton News in Milton.